From things people were never supposed to see to some of the biggest objects ever found, some things that were dug up from the ground are completely shocking. Hey everyone, this is Top 10 Scary Urban Legends. I'm your host Makayla, and today we are talking about top 10 scariest things found underground, so let's get started. Starting off at number 10, World War II bomb. A random Christmas morning years ago in Germany, construction workers made a frightening discovery when a group of construction workers were digging up the ground in order to build new apartments in the future. They, however, ended up digging up an undetonated bomb from World War II that weighed 1.8 tons, which is around 4,000 pounds. It was said that it could have easily gone off with all the heavy metal construction vehicles and equipment just by making contact. After making the discovery, police immediately evacuated more than 54,000 people from the nearby area, while a bomb squad transported it far away and then detonated it. However, had it gone off, people predicted that it would have hit over a mile in every direction.
54,000 people were evacuated from the city of Augsburg in southern Germany after construction workers discovered an unexploded World War II bomb on Christmas morning. Because of the size of the 1.8-ton bomb, the evacuation zone was 1.5 kilometers. Although evacuations of this sort are common, this is the biggest single evacuation for an unexploded Allied bomb in post-war Germany.
Now at number 9, hidden city. In 1963, a Turkish man was renovating his home. After knocking down a wall in his basement, he discovered an odd-looking tunnel. He followed the tunnel and found an ancient underground city called Derinkenyu. Sorry if I mispronounced that, which is large enough to have sheltered as many as 20,000 people together.
The upper floors were used as apartments closest to the fresh air, but Derinkenyu has a complex system of over 16,000 ventilation shafts that allow air to circulate through every room in the city.
Do you know how fast I would move out of that place if I found something even remotely similar? Now at number 8, Unmarked Graves. A construction crew was demolishing a parking lot in Philadelphia when they made a terrifying discovery. The crew was supposed to be building something new when it quickly turned into an excavation operation, as heavy cranes lift casket after casket out of the ground, which were over 300 years old, that contained real human remains from an old church and cemetery that once stood in that same spot in the 1700s. But the caskets were supposed to have been relocated to a different cemetery around the 1860s, but whoever was in charge of it lied and said they moved the bodies, probably to save money. This means for years people have been walking over unmarked graves without even knowing. Now coming in at number 7, shelter. This one was posted by a Redditor. I was playing in the woods and tripped over something solid. Found it was a cement circle and realized it was an underground door. The next day I come back with a crowbar to open, and like hell I'm going in unarmed. Pull it up and it was a Cold War era personal bomb shelter that failed. There was a giant crack in the roof. The floor was covered in slime. But what was worse is the walls are covered in writings. This is the end, we must die, everyone is gone, till I find the back wall. And there's a giant red scroll that says, "Get out of my home." I sprint at the door and close it. I don't want to know what the hell that was, but I came back the next day. It's burned out. I didn't set a fire intentionally, and I didn't smell smoke leaving. Now at number 6, metal sphere. Back in 1974, a fire destroyed a large part of a family's woodlands. As they examined the damage, they stumbled across a strange metal ball buried in the ground, completely smooth except for a single elongated triangle symbol. Thinking it was some sort of space junk or meteor, they took it home with them. After about 2 weeks, the family started noticing something strange about the metal orb. The sphere would allegedly resonate with certain sounds and frequencies, such as a played guitar, causing it to vibrate or hum. They discovered that if the orb was pushed across the floor, it would change direction of its own accord and often return to its original starting position. To this day, it's still not known for certain what the mystery sphere is, and we might never know because its current whereabouts are allegedly unknown.
How it got there, I, nor anyone else I know, has any knowledge of this.
However, there are many theories attempting to explain this possible nature, from an alien artifact to a plain and simple ball valve bearing. Now at number 5, Vikings. When another construction crew was busy at work building a new road, they came across a patch of unordinary land. This area was the final resting spot of 51 unidentified skeleton bodies. One pile was nothing but bodies, and another was nothing but heads that were neatly arranged in rows. Scientists were eventually able to identify through testing that they were the remains of Scandinavian Vikings who presumably were captured during a battle and had their heads removed. Scientists also identified their country of origin by examining microscopic food particles in their teeth.
They uncovered a secret that was 1,000 years old. Archaeologists painstakingly uncovered a mass burial with at least 50 bodies.
I personally would never want to be a construction worker because the amount of discoveries on this list that were construction workers is very unsettling. Now at number 4, giant knife. Back in 2014, a team of professional scuba divers discovered the biggest knife ever underwater. 3 divers had taken a photo of them all holding it together. Once the image was released on the internet, people went crazy with speculating where it came from and how it got there. The people in the photo also didn't say anything about their discovery, and usually with a discovery so big you want to take credit, but it's almost like they just took the photo and disappeared. The most common theory is that it was from a giant millions of years ago, thinking that the knife was proof of bigger human life forms than us. But I guess it could be a movie prop, or maybe it was something that was never supposed to be found, so that's why the people in the photo were never heard from again. And how did it have gotten that deep in the water? Now at number 3, car graveyard. A group of friends were exploring an abandoned mine when they came across a pool of water down one of the tunnels. Just past the pool of water, they then found a car graveyard.
We have finally made it to the car cave graveyard.
With many cars of different ages, most of which were over 100 years old.
I don't know any other explorers or people who have actually came to here, like actually to the other side. I don't think anyone's crazy enough to even do it. Jeez.
The group had to, however, quickly leave because shrapnel was falling on their heads. It was very unstable and not sanitary, so I highly recommend not going even if it looks interesting. Coming in at number 2, we have Sulu Princess. On September 5th, 1969, miners were working in a coal mine when at 70 meters saw a 2-meter marble sarcophagus. The artifact was then taken to the surface, and as the miners were curious, they decided to open it, only to discover a mummified body of a young girl in a pinkish-like liquid. She has been described to have had white skin and thick dark brown hair. They then named the discovery Sulu Princess. Once they took her body out of the pink liquid to run tests, her body started to brown very quickly. Once they put her back, she returned to her original color without any sign of decay. They found out it was impossible to find the contents of it or how the liquid was produced. They said it was reasonable to assume the girl was from a civilization much more highly developed than ours. Now coming in at number 1, wishing well. A YouTuber named Craig Wilson was doing some home repairs by himself when he noticed a small hole in the tiles in his backyard. He opened it up a bit more and was absolutely stunned. He revealed a huge cavern which went 16 feet straight down.
This hole goes down, down, down to a giant cavern.
It's unknown what this hole was used for, but some think it was a wishing well many years ago. And that was the top 10 scariest things found underground. I hope you liked this video. If you did, make sure to let us know what you want us to talk about in the future, and we will see you next time.